So, what if everything you've ever heard about the law of attraction is, well, only half the story? We hear all the time that manifestation is some kind of cosmic magic, right? You send a request out to the universe and wait for delivery. But what if science tells us it's less about magic and way more about a hardware upgrade for your brain? Let's talk about how to install that upgrade.
For so many people, trying to manifest something feels like a constant struggle. You're doing the vision boards, you're reciting the affirmations, and you're getting, well, nothing. We're about to pull back the curtain on the one critical glitch in the whole law of attraction system that causes this. And I'll show you exactly how to fix it using a little bit of brain science.
The real shift here is all about perspective. We're moving away from these kind of mystical ideas of cosmic ordering or needing to vibrate higher so the universe delivers the goods. Instead, we're gonna get grounded in reality. Manifestation is really about your brain's hardware, its own built-in filters, and most importantly, where you put your focus. It's a huge shift from just wishing to actively wiring.
To really see why this shift is so important, let's first take a look at why the common approach just doesn't cut it for most people. And it all starts with a story that you might find very relatable. Okay, so meet Sarah. Sarah is doing everything by the book. She has the vision board plastered with images of her dream life. She is reciting affirmations like, "I am a magnet for wealth," every single morning, and she spends a good chunk of her day just visualizing that perfect dream office. The problem? Her reality is not budging at all. Her bank account is still empty, her stress levels are through the roof, and maybe worst of all, she feels like a total failure because she can't make it work.
So what is going on with Sarah? The self-help gurus might say she has some hidden resistance or she just isn't believing hard enough. But the real issue? It's neurobiological. She's actually fallen into what scientists call the fantasy trap. And it's a massive flaw in that popular ask, believe, receive model.
Okay, here it is, the core of the problem. Your brain isn't that great at telling the difference between a vividly imagined event and something that's actually happened. So, when Sarah daydreams about being successful, her brain gets a little hit of all the feel-good chemicals like dopamine, as if she's already achieved the goal. And here's what that actually does to you, and we've got the research to prove it. Look at this first bar. It shows the people who only fantasize about their goals. Their motivation actually drops a lot. But now look at that second bar. When you combine that fantasy with a little dose of a reality check, and we'll get to what that means in a minute, motivation just skyrockets. Pure fantasy literally drains the gas from your tank. This quote just nails it perfectly. By focusing only on that amazing positive outcome, you're basically sending a signal to your brain that the work is already done. It thinks the race is over. It thinks you've already won, so it just stops supplying the energy and the drive you need to actually cross the finish line. This is the neurobiological trap that keeps so many people stuck in the mud. Okay, so if daydreaming isn't the answer, what is? Let's shift gears and talk about the solution, and it all starts with understanding a really cool piece of hardware you have in your brain. You can think of it as your own personal built-in Google, the Reticular Activating System, or RAS for short. The RAS is basically the bouncer for your brain. It stands at the door of your conscious mind and decides what information gets in and what gets ignored. Think about it. Your brain is getting bombarded with millions of bits of information every single second. The RAS is the thing that filters out all that noise so you can actually focus and function. And this is the perfect way to understand how it works. You've totally had this happen, right? You decide you want to buy, say, a blue SUV, and then all of a sudden you see blue SUVs everywhere you go. Did more blue SUVs magically appear on the road? Of course not. They were always there. What changed was your internal filter. You told your RAS, hey, this is important to me now, and it started pointing them out to you. And this, right here, is the fundamental shift in the entire conversation. You are not magically attracting things from the universe. You are priming your brain's filter, your RAS, to spot the opportunities, the people, and the resources that were probably around you the whole time. It is not about cosmic attraction. It is about selective attention. Okay, so how do we use this knowledge about our brain's search engine and at the same time avoid that nasty fantasy trap? Well, they need a system. We need a science-backed protocol that shifts us from just passively wishing for things into actively doing them. And that system is called the WHOOP protocol. It's a really simple 4-step framework that was developed by a psychologist named Gabrielle Audigan based on over 20 years of research on motivation. And it is designed specifically to work with how your brain is already wired.
So let's break it down. It starts with your wish, and this needs to be a specific, clear goal. Next is the outcome. This is where you get to visualize that success, but just for a moment. And now for the secret sauce, the obstacle. You have to identify the main internal thing that's holding you back. Finally, you create a plan, a super simple if-then statement to get past that obstacle. And this is how you turn a fuzzy hope into a rock-solid plan. So instead of a vague wish like, I want to be rich, your wish becomes, I will earn an extra $2,000 a month. Your obstacle, maybe it's procrastination. So your plan becomes a direct command to your brain. If it's 9 a.m., then I will work on my project for 10 minutes. See? This creates an automatic trigger, basically programming your brain to act. Using a protocol like this builds a completely new way of looking at how to change your reality. It shifts the whole focus away from passively trying to attract things and puts it squarely on actively becoming the kind of person who can achieve them. So the real law of attraction is actually a psychological engine. It runs on what you focus on, which primes that RAS filter in your brain. It's fueled by what you truly believe, which changes your biology. And it's driven by what you actually act on, through your habits and your plans. When all three of those gears are working together, they create your reality. And this is the ultimate takeaway. This is the whole thing. True manifestation isn't about pulling success out of thin air. It's an internal process. It's about rewiring your focus, your beliefs, and your actions until you literally transform into someone for whom that success is just a natural outcome. It's a complete identity shift. I want to leave you with this idea. We often think our thoughts have some kind of magical power to change the world around us, but their real power is in changing us. Your thoughts are what move you to train for the marathon, to write the business plan, to put in the work. They don't move the mountain. They move the person who gets up every single day and climbs it, and that is the most powerful science of all.